22,362. That's how many cars sold in Australia last February came from one country, China. And for the first time in 28 years, China beat Japan as our number one car supplier. 1 month. 28 years of history. Gone. A story like this plays out across owner forums and trade encounters right across the country. Someone walks into a dealership with a 3-year-old Chinese SUV, expecting a decent trade-in figure because the car still drives fine, still looks fine, still starts every morning, and the number on the page is thousands less than they thought. Not because the car is bad, because the market moved faster than they did. That is not an outlier. That is the documented reality of Chinese car ownership in Australia right now. 9 of the 10 new automotive brands to enter this country since 2020 are Chinese. By June of this year, Chinese-made cars made up almost 1 in every 5 new vehicles sold, 19% of the entire market. And in the used market, EV prices dropped from $37,500 down to $36,400 in a single quarter, while used petrol and diesel prices actually went up over the same period. Today I'm counting down 10 things about buying a Chinese car in Australia in 2026, ranked from bad to absolutely brutal. By the end you will know exactly which brands are quietly losing value the fastest, which ones have real documented safety recalls, and where the actual financial danger sits when you sign that contract. Stick with me to the end, because the number one spot is the one that costs people the most money, and almost nobody sees it coming. I am Mark Petrelli, 52 years old, former auction house valuer, no badge loyalty, nobody paying me a cent. Every claim in this video is sourced to wholesale auction data, trade-in trend reports, VFAX sales figures from the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries, and official recall notices from the Federal Vehicle Recall Register. Before we get into it, hit subscribe. I spent years standing in auction yards, watching what cars actually sell for, not what a dealer tells you they are worth. I want Aussies to see those real numbers before they sign a trade-in form. Right. Let us go from bad to absolutely brutal. Coming in at number 10, buying into a brand with zero resale history. This is the quiet risk nobody mentions in the showroom. You're not just buying a car, you're buying into a name with no long-term Australian ownership data behind it. In plain Australian terms, the math simply does not work when nobody can tell you what the car will be worth in 5 years. 9 of the 10 new brands to enter our market since 2020 are Chinese, which means most of them have less than 5 years of local resale history to draw on. That is not a small detail. That is the entire foundation of what your car will be worth later, missing. The real-world consequence is simple. Without resale history, finance companies and insurers price in extra risk, and that risk gets passed straight back to you as a buyer. Up next is a brand that was supposed to be the safe pick. Coming in at number 9, MG's sales slide, despite being the brand everyone assumed was the safe Chinese choice. MG has lost its crown as Australia's top-selling Chinese brand, and the numbers back it up. To the end of May this year, MG sold 18,145 vehicles, its lowest January to May result in 5 years, down from 20,769 over the same months back in 2022. Let me put that in plain language. The brand people pointed to as proof Chinese cars had arrived is now shrinking, not growing. If the brand you thought was the safest bet is sliding, that tells you something about how fast this whole market is shifting underneath buyers' feet. Number 8 is where the safety concerns start. Coming in at number 8, the GWM hybrid wiring defect recall. This one is documented, not a rumor. 1,445 GWM Cannon Alpha, Tank 300, and Tank 500 hybrids were recalled after a manufacturing defect meant the high-voltage wiring harness shielding ring wasn't properly grounded, risking abnormal communication with the engine and transmission control systems. That is not a minor fault. That is the kind of fault that makes an ordinary Australian check their own driveway. The real cost here isn't just the repair. It's what a recall like this does to how a buyer 3 years from now looks at that VIN number. Number 7, and it gets worse, because this isn't the first time. Coming in at number 7, a repeat defect on the exact same model. This wasn't the first wiring issue on the Cannon Alpha. An earlier recall covered a separate electric power steering harness that could contact the driveshaft, with the potential to cause loss of power steering and even engine shutdown while driving. Documented twice on the same model. That's not bad luck. That's a pattern. For a buyer, a second recall on the same platform is the difference between unlucky and walk away. Coming in at number 6, the Chery Tigo 7 Pro's depreciation numbers. Out of every model tracked, this one lost value the fastest. The Chery Tigo 7 Pro experienced a 42.01% drop in value in just over a year. That is not depreciation. That is the market quietly telling you something the dealer never will. On a car worth around $30,000 new, that's roughly $12,500 gone in 12 months. A 5-figure mistake sitting in the driveway. Quick favor before we hit the top 5. If this is genuinely useful, give the like button a tap. The top 5 picks are where the real money disappears, and I want the algorithm to push this video to as many Aussies as possible before they sign. Cheers. On we go. Coming in at number 5, the BYD Atto 3, and yes, even the market leader isn't safe from this. Of every 2024 model year vehicle compared, the BYD Atto 3 recorded the highest depreciation rate of the lot, at 35.84%. Let that sink in. BYD is the brand every other Chinese manufacturer is chasing, and even their most popular model is losing more than a third of its value inside a year. If the leader's flagship is bleeding value like this, it tells you the whole segment is under pressure, not just the smaller names. Number 4 is where the momentum itself starts turning. Coming in at number 4, GWM's own sales momentum going into reverse. GWM declined 23.9% month-on-month in April of this year, the steepest fall of any top brand that month, as rising competition from BYD, Kia, and Hyundai started biting hard. A brand that was one of the fastest risers in this country is now one of the fastest fallers. That's not a rumor, that's the sales chart. For owners, shrinking sales momentum usually means shrinking dealer support down the track, and that's a real practical problem when you need a service booking. Coming in at number 3, the used EV market losing value faster than petrol cars. This one hits anyone buying new right now and planning to sell in a couple of years. Used EV prices dropped from $37,500 to $36,400 in a single quarter, while used petrol and diesel prices actually rose from $24,500 up to $26,000 over the same period. Two markets, same 3 months, moving in completely opposite directions. That gap is where your resale value quietly disappears. Number 2 is where it stops being about the car and starts being about the system. Coming in at number 2, the dealer and warranty protection gap that got serious enough for government to step in. This is the systemic issue sitting underneath almost every complaint on this list. The Australian government moved on legislation to protect car dealers and consumers after pressure from the Australian Automotive Dealer Association over unfair trading practices, including dealers having legitimate warranty repair reimbursement requests denied outright. Documented and confirmed enough that it reached federal legislation, not just angry forum posts. In plain Australian terms, if dealers themselves are getting stiffed on warranty claims, that tells you exactly how much weight your own warranty paperwork is really carrying. And topping the list at number 1, the resale collapse problem, the one that determines whether buying Chinese in 2026 was smart or expensive. Independent analysis has found that some leading Chinese manufactured cars are dropping in value by upwards of 40% in just over a year. Not one model. A pattern across the segment. Put that on a car worth between $35,000 and $45,000, and a 40% loss is somewhere between $14,000 and $18,000 real dollars. Gone. Inside 12 to 18 months. That's not a number on a spreadsheet. That's a 5-figure mistake sitting in your driveway every single morning. This pressure got serious enough that government moved on legislation to protect dealers and consumers, driven by Australian Automotive Dealer Association complaints about warranty reimbursements being denied. When it takes federal legislation to sort out warranty disputes, that's not a small industry hiccup. Remember, 9 of the 10 newest brands on our roads have under 5 years of local history. Thin dealer networks and unsettled warranty processes make it harder to service the car, and every gap in service history chips further away at resale value later. New model price cuts keep resetting the entire market underneath every used Chinese car already on the road. A brand new model at a sharp discount doesn't just win a new customer, it quietly guts the resale value of every used one already sitting in someone's driveway. Let me put that in plain language. It's not one bad car or one bad brand. It's the entire pricing structure of this segment working against you the moment you drive off the lot. Here's the action step. Before you buy, pull the Red Book depreciation history for that exact model. And check the AADA and Federal Recall Register for that brand before you sign anything. You are now the informed buyer who knows something most Australians walking into a showroom today do not. So there they are. Number 10, a brand with 0 resale track record. Number 9, MG's crown slipping fast. Number 8, a documented hybrid wiring recall. Number 7, the same defect twice on one model. Number 6, the Tigo 7 Pro's brutal 42% drop. Number 5, even BYD's flagship losing value fast. Number 4, GWM's own sales momentum reversing hard. Number 3, used EVs losing value faster than petrol cars. Number 2, a warranty gap serious enough for government. Number 1, the 40% resale collapse hitting every buyer's wallet. My honest takeaway, and it is the same one I always give. None of these brands are evil in themselves, and plenty of people are genuinely happy with their Chinese-made car. But informed buyers always win, because they know what they're actually signing up for before the ink dries. Under Australian consumer law, you have real rights around faulty goods and misleading warranty claims, and those rights don't disappear just because the badge on the bonnet is new to this country. So do the resale check before you fall in love with the price tag, not after. Have you traded in a Chinese-made car and been shocked by the number on the page? Are you currently cross-shopping one of these brands right now and wondering if the deal is really as good as it looks? Or have you had a warranty claim knocked back and had to fight for it? Drop your stories in the comments. The honest ones, the painful ones, the "I should have watched this 6 months ago" ones. All welcome. If this helped, give it a like. Hit subscribe for more straight-shooting Aussie car advice, and I will see you in the next one. Drive safe, and remember, the sticker price is what you pay once, but depreciation is the bill that keeps arriving.